I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up.
Hello, Miko. How you doing today?
I'm fine. What up, Marie? What up to all of you that are out there in Savannah, Hinesville, listen, in Austin, Texas, listen, this is Incarceration to Incorporation, and we definitely going to give shots out to OAA Savannah, which means what, Marie?
Offender Alumni Association, where we come to encourage, empower, and educate one another.
Listen, why do we do what we do? We come on this platform because we want to encourage people. We want to make sure that you know that we are successful, justice impacted people, returning citizens. What do we mean when we say success? We are successful educationally, occupationally, organizationally, even relationally. We are. When they keep telling us about this recidivism, listen, we changing that dial. Marie, myself, Fred, Julius, and others, we all have something in common. We have killed that recidivism. So we got some guests on today that's going to talk to us about what they're doing, because we specifically speak to those who are returning citizens, to those who are related to returning citizens, and those who have resources for a returning citizen. We definitely want to give shots out. Marie, get some shots out.
I want to give shots out to AB, who is the brainchild of Incarceration to Incorporate, the most busiest man we know. And then Mr. Julius Hall, who gave us this safe platform to come and share our stories, because as Julius Campbell was saying, guess what? Connecting the dots. You share your story, you share your testimony, it will take, encourage, and help someone else. And we cannot do this thing alone. So let's encourage, let's empower, and educate one another. Go ahead.
Boy, you sound like a politician. We go listen. I don't like that. Yeah. Julius, look, we got it going good, boy. Listen.
I'm trying.
We got to give shots out to my boy Fred. He'll be with us as well. Fred is the operator, facilitator, and director of Filling in the Gaps organization. Definitely, we working together in tandem. OAA, Filling the Gaps, and we are working with our young people, and that's what we got on tonight. We got a brother and his wife on that's going to share what they're doing. Then we got another brother in Austin, Texas, going to share what he's doing. But Marie, you go ahead and introduce our guest.
Yes, I would like to introduce Mr. Timothy Grace and Mr. Chevis Watson. And Timothy, I talked to him briefly, and he was telling me about his organization. So we want to come on and hear his story. And I want to hear Mr. Chevis Watson's story also, because he was really, really good last time when he was on. So Mr. Grace, I would like for you to introduce yourself. Tell me your name and what is your affiliation with Incarceration. Timothy?
Do we have some technical difficulties? Want to make sure his mic is on. All right.
They say we can't. They say they can't hear us, Miko.
Oh, what's going on? They can't hear us. We got to come out.
What you want me to tell them?
Matter of fact, I just heard somebody just say something just now.
Their mic is. Tell them that they might. Your mic. Oh, well, okay. Okay, Mr. Watson, until Timothy them can come on, can you come on and reintroduce yourself and tell me your affiliation with Incarceration, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me back. My name is Chevis Watson. I'm experienced in criminal justice reform. I became operator and organizer, but also a business owner back in 2014. I became an inmate lawyer on my way to prison in 2020, working on roughly 515 cases and 378 days served.
Wow.
I'm now the founder of my own state service agency named Working Group 512. And even though we're based in Austin, Texas, over the last 3 years, we've touched 25 states.
Wow.
So I'll say this is what recovery looks like. I also operate in Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and Abilene as a catalyst in projects, initiatives, startups. I run a regional food access program throughout Central Texas. We've rescued 9 million pounds of food waste in the last 3 years, completed 40,000 deliveries in the last 3 years. I was discharged from parole in 2021, so I continue to help refine the reintegration process for brothers and sisters after prison. I've got 3 death row clients that I'm on the back-end advocacy team for.
Wow.
I've got 7 clients in the pretrial phase, as I'm not a lawyer, but I am a legal professional in the element of what's called a next friend. I was a 2021 inaugural fellow of the African American Leadership Institute here in Austin, Texas, an indigent defense fellow with Houston area nonprofit Pure Justice. I was the winner of the community development election with Houston area nonprofit Black Gold Nation in their national leadership election. Recently graduated from Leadership Austin, a fellowship in Austin, Texas. But most recently, I was named as the graduate speaker and valedictorian of Just Leadership 2023's Leading with Conviction Fellowship. So I come here with leadership in mind, turning from incarceration to incorporation.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Watson, I just want to commend you, congratulate you. You are doing an awesome job. And guess what? Like you said, you have a lot of accolades underneath your belt.
There you go. I like that word, that accolades. Listen, I like that word. Listen, boy, listen, you on point tonight. Listen, Mr. Watson, Just Leadership. We definitely want to hear a little bit more about that. I know Fred is also a recent graduate as well. So definitely we want to hear more in depth about Just Leadership and where your passion came from to be a litigator and to help men and women. But let us first see if Mr. Tim has gotten their audio together. Tim?
I can hear. I'm listening.
Okay, right out. Explain. We want you to tell us who you are and what is your organization.
Well, my name is Timothy Grace. I'm out of Hinesville, Georgia. I started 2 nonprofits in my area. One is dealing with youth. It's called One Hand Wash the Other. It's a youth outreach program where we go and help low income and at-risk kids, find their way in life. We started another program, a nonprofit organization. It's called Power to People Action Committee. It's a political organization that helps raise the awareness in the community on different issues that we suffer throughout being in the Black community, low income areas, and that we try to raise the awareness up on different issues.
Okay, and you allow your wife definitely to introduce herself. I know she is a pivotal part of the organization, and just tell us a little bit more about how y'all began this passion, and then we'll go, and what we're gonna do is go back and forth from your story in Hinesville and your wife and Austin, Texas. We want the people to understand that there are resources out there, that there are men and women that's in the trenches. So we'll go back and forth with some moderation, but you go ahead and tell us, introduce your wife and just tell us where the passion came from and what are some things, some stories that success has happened.
Okay, well, my name is Chastity Oliveira Grace, and I'm the president of our nonprofit youth program, One Hand Wash the Other. My passion for it came from just being a child that knows that I haven't really had much experiences when I was growing up. Even though I had a 2-parent household, some people think having a mother and a father in the home, it gives you all the resources and things that you need, but sometimes it's still not available. So just seeing that as I was growing up, and then at the age of 15, I got pregnant. And then before I graduated high school, I had my second child, but I was still able to, you know, push through and graduate at the top of my class with honors, with a dual diploma. I have my bachelor's and my master's in psychology. So just that passion, that knowing what I had to, you know, push past, it gives me the passion to want to give that to other young girls, especially who may be going through similar situations or really not even know what it means to, you know, be a woman, and just have that false narrative of what it means to be a young lady nowadays.
Right. I like that.
Yes.
I like that, Miss Grace.
Thank you.
And see, mine was it was different. You know, I was incarcerated in 2011, from 2009 to 11 in Telfair State Prison. I was a child that grew up without a mother and a father. I was a child that was raised in the system. And so I didn't have father figures coming in and trying to show me how to be a man. And by not having that, you know, just like any other kids, the streets invest in you first. And a lot of kids see negative, then something positive. So a chances of them grabbing something positive is slim, and especially growing up in low income areas. So by me going to prison and really sitting back and laying back and understanding like how my life I wasn't invested in. And I didn't have a lot of people didn't want to invest in me because of my situation and where I come from. And when a lot of kids come from drug addicted parents and and different systems and stuff, people shy away from them because of how their parents was raised, how their parents, by not them having parents. So that what gave me my passion. I wanted to step up and be from the community and help the kids, show them it's people that want to see you be successful without getting anything out of it. We started our outreach youth program with just our kids, and now we stretch it out to 50 to over 100 kids, and we go out and mentor and counsel thousands of kids over the years, and we try to help them get out of their situation, because a lot of kids don't even go on field trips anymore in the school system. And so we try to give the kids something to do every Saturday so that they can take part in these things and not become a product of their environment, because inside of these low income areas, they're like a cesspool, and there's so much negativity stuff coming in and out of there. Even the police know that. That's why they sit there and patrol these areas, because they know they have no guidance in these areas. And we want to be that program that go in there and really touch these kids and show them that it's people that care about them. And it's just I know what it takes to really be not invested in. And the streets invested in me first. And I felt like I owed the streets my life. And a lot of kids gonna feel like that. They're gonna feel like they owe the streets their life just because they gave them a shirt, a pair of shoes, or opened the door for them, or was the first one to show them something. And we have to have our strong community leaders be there first. They have to be there and that's why we started our political program, because it runs hand in hand. We can't get doors and get inside of these areas without who? Our community leaders, our mayors, our county commissioners, our housing authorities. Like, we have to have the whole system working together to save the generation, because it's about the youth. The youth is the future, and they must be invested in.
Wow. Listen. We got to pay some bills here in just a second, but I want you, Watson, to get ready. When we come back from paying these bills, I want you to tell us the same thing. Where did that passion originate? And then also go a little in depth about just leadership. What is that, and how can we be a part of that? So we're going to stop just for a second and pay a few bills, and we'll be ready to come back. Hold up.
continue to.
Well, look at I be jamming with that right
Me
there, Marie.
too.
Listen, I love that. Listen, I see you out there. Araya Scott says hello, everyone. David Banner said, what's up? I'm watching as well. And listen, I want you to get ready to come on in, but Marie, make sure you come in when you're ready to with those questions as well. But
Yes,
watch
sir.
it. Tell us, where does that passion come from?
That's a great question, brother. That's a great question. You know, I'm originally from New Orleans, so I come from a chronological thread of pain, loss, poverty, and violence. You know, I know broken hearts, broken lives, broken bones, you know, even broken plans. But I've been in Austin, Texas for about 25 years. We moved out here from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so I've had quite a turbulent path. You know what I'm saying? I've got a 17-year history in the criminal justice system. And so on my way to prison in 2019, I had to wake up and make a conscious choice. And so I dug and I leaned into the law. And so that took writing, that took reading, that took understanding, that took camaraderie, that took conversation, that took courage, that took being uncomfortable. And so you could say that the passion comes from then. You know, I could tell you about all the past years why I chose liberation, why I honored the ancestors. But it was coming back from prison without anything, having to embrace what was uncomfortable in order to attain growth and discipline that I think resulted in this passion to be of complete service. If you were to look, take an inventory of all the people around me, they'll tell you that I call myself simply a soldier in the Most High God's army. That's it. So I took my broken experiences and I chose to get involved with Just Leadership USA last year doing a North Carolina Emerging Leaders training. And that's a great way for anybody to get involved, is to look up their Emerging Leaders program where you can interact and participate virtually and get involved in this process of leadership growth. And so that's why I met Brother Fred, as we were both on a path of turning our pain into purpose. You know what I mean? And so Just Leadership USA was life-changing. You know, I was not only selected as one of the leaders out of the state of Texas, but I was put in a group, a cohort with 30 other individuals from around the nation who were excelling after incarceration, who were brilliant with ideas and theories after incarceration. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, Just Leadership USA trains us in the Leading with Conviction Fellowship on pure leadership practices and how to keep that within yourself as an inventory. And those practices are something that anybody can use, whether it's a youth, an adult. And that's modeling the way. A leader should model the way. And I won't dig into all of these practices, but I'll just list them. A leader should model the way. A leader should inspire a shared vision. A leader should enable others to act. A leader should encourage someone's heart, encourage others' hearts. But also a leader should know how to challenge the process. And so we dug deep into leadership and how to lean into conflict, how to lean into your traumas, not to run away from your traumas, not to run away from conflict, but to lean into it so that you can truly understand who you are. And that's right there on that pathway of reentry. We've, you know, Brother Julius, I know you've been there, where we come out and there's a no on every corner. There's a hurdle every season. But how do you stay focused? You know what I mean? How do you stay focused? How do you shell controversy and stay focused on your desired goal? You know what I mean? And so that's what Just Leadership was about to me. Identifying a loving community for me to engage with around my trauma, rather than be afraid to talk about it in the space or not have a space where I could be welcome to share about it. But after we have dug into that trauma, how can I develop from those traumatic experiences? How can I add that into my leadership journey? How can I make that be a responsible factor in me modeling the way for my community? Instead of me pointing blame like I used to when I was coming up. How can I simply take responsibility first? You know what I'm saying? Real leadership stuff. So that's what Just Leadership USA is about. And brother Tim and sister, I invite y'all to check us out and get involved and bring all of your efforts to Just Leadership USA. It's an international brand where you can come and really shine. You can really shine. I mean, I'm not saying that y'all are shining right now, but shine with that organization in that pendulum where we all are formerly incarcerated individuals helping change the world. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like y'all doing some trailblazing work out there. But that's what it's about, brother Julius and Sister Maria. It's about tapping into the leadership in you and making a conscious choice to connect to those leadership practices so that you can use every opportunity to showcase your growth and your discipline. You know what I mean? Right. And that's where my passion would come. That's why I've made it to this part. And I would like to speak about a couple of other things concerning the expungement clinic next Monday. There in Savannah, because I will be traveling down there to participate.
Oh, that's really good.
Cool. I definitely like that. You said, and as a matter of fact, let's transition over to Tim and his wife, because you said that Just Leadership, what it did is it enables leaders enabling others to act. And Tim, you said along with your wife that what you're doing is you're enabling young people to act and to be able to, whether it's in the political area or in other areas. Share with us some of your stories, whatever those stories may be. Sometimes it's those aha moments or those stories of that you impacted and influenced a young life. So both of you, your wife and yourself, share some of those stories for us.
It's I was incarcerated with a young man one time, and his mother had died, and I was able to help him get out of jail and help him be able to mentor and counsel him and help him be able to graduate and get his high school diploma. And so just something small like that. It's 100 stories, but just me able to see him graduated, because if we wasn't able to bond him out of jail, he would have been another kid without a high school diploma. And he didn't have help from the outside like that. So just be able to help that young man, just be able to help any kids is a passion for us.
You want to share? Your wife?
Yes. Like you said, without even considering being incarcerated, we've touched a lot of kids where they might have thought they wouldn't have succeeded if they didn't have an organization like ours to really put the time and the work into them. And we've had a few kids that have graduated out of our program with high school diplomas that have been through situations and been through things that other kids might not be able to graduate if they don't have organizations or resources to, help them in these types of situations.
And then a lot of times we as regular citizens and not elected officials, not really on the board and stuff we only can do so much. A lot of times these kids in the school system, they need these traits and these programs while they're during the school year. Because when they get out of school year, and if they don't have somebody successful vouching for them, they're not going to really get these jobs that they want. And so they become product of their environment. Yes, they have a high school diploma, but what else? So and like I say, that's why working with community leaders and working with other entities, we can really go inside the schoolhouse and implement different programs where we can really save the next generations. Because they always say we need to invest in the next generation, but how are we doing that when we're not giving them their proper weapons to fight with?
Exactly.
We have to give the youth something to fight. We have to come together. It don't matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, whatever. We have to save the next gen, and we have to make the next doctors and lawyers. But if we're not taking them to no doctor classes, especially kids that stay in low income areas that don't have anything, they not even going on field trips. So how are they getting this experience? Most of these programs they having events, but the vendors getting the money. They doing with no benefits. You know, the kids gotta pay. But they raising the money and they not really putting it to the use for the kids. We have to be really investing it into the youth, especially the low income area. And most of the time down here in Georgia in the Southeast, all the schools mostly Title I schools. So that means they get benefits, some type of Social Security, food stamps, welfare, something. So they need help and they crying out for help. And they cry out through attitudes, through all this awareness of bullying. It's a whole bunch of issues. And our leaders, the ones that's passing the policy, and we have to put pressure on them to make them know that the community is listening. You wonder why the numbers down? We don't see you until election time.
Exactly.
You wait till election time, and then that's when we see you. If you only if they have a 4-year term, you only support 10 businesses through your whole 4-year term, and then you try to cram 1,000 businesses the last time. Like, it's impossible for you to reach that type of people. And these people the community is woke now, and we have to give the community something to see. And it's called advocating. Anything you want. They say it all the time. A squeaky wheel gets what? Squeaky wheel gets the oil. So we have to continue to be squeaky wheel advocates in the community, raising the awareness, letting the community know, hey, we need support from our leaders, and we not going for it. We need to start having a plan of attack and working with community leaders that have one.
Tim, you know what? You say, Miko know how you said such a lot when you said that, because I always say they only come and pat the poor kids on their head when it's election time, and other than that you do not see them. And I remember when me and Julius first started, and it blew my mind when he told me that it takes $90,000 to fund one juvenile. So Tim, if we can take and have that money into your organization of visual and verbal, what me and Julius and Fred do here in Savannah with the kids, if we can have $90,000 per child, right? Because they'll pay $90,000 to incarcerate them. Don't you think it would be so much more that we can give back to the community?
Yes, and working. Yes, and working with local organizations. It's hundreds of local organizations. Our kids make up the school system.
That's right.
We are the stakeholders in the community, and we have to start taking our power back.
Right.
We don't realize how much power we have until election time. They pass so many policies and so many things without us during the year. So if they didn't need us, they wouldn't use us.
Exactly.
So we have to get something out. Us, the community. That's how we save our children. That's how we save our children, is by going out there and getting the right advocates to go in these schoolhouses and really save them. Really going to these low income areas. Really policing our community like we're supposed to be doing. Right. Not having them come in there with these expensive suits and expensive things, talking this only in election time. We want to see them every month. Every month. They always do, because we don't have that. We need systems where we raising awareness every month. Every month.
I like that. Go ahead, Julius.
Well, I want to hear from Watson. Watson, I want you to tell us, because what he is saying is so true. But I do know when you have organization that there are sometimes difficulties and hard times, whether it's financial sustainability or pressures from the outside, trying to do it on your own, hitting a brick wall. Share with us some, because a lot of listeners right now, they went through some difficulties, especially our brothers and sisters that's coming back home. They are going to face some difficulties. So I want you, Watson, to tell us, and then I'll come back over to Tim and his wife. I want you to tell us, how did you handle those difficulties in your ministry or in your organization or in your outreach? And then if there are some stories that you want to share with us, with our audience, of course, that's what we're here for, a platform to educate and to encourage.
Absolutely. Great question. How did I handle them? I say I'm still handling them. You know what I'm saying? So the way I handle them is by anticipating them.
Okay.
By anticipating them first. The barriers, the conflicts that are going to come. I've been black all my life. So if I can anticipate, then I can prepare. I can prepare my mind. I'll go all around the state presenting on leadership, and I'll tell brothers and sisters that there's a difference from simply sitting in the chair than leaning in and participating in this meeting. And so with this difference of ability, distancing yourself from that silence and that complacency that you had in your past, or that comfortableness that you had in your past, you challenge yourself to choose to make choices that you haven't made before. And those choices could very well be embrace all of the barriers that will come your way. See, when I came back from prison, I didn't have anything. I paroled to a woman who, just because I didn't want to talk about some stuff, because I was trying to protect my peace after prison, she threw PlayStations and Xboxes and broken glass at me. And this was such a volatile situation that I had to, the Bible commands us to rethink ourselves. I had to physically rethink myself and say things like, well, what does safety mean to me? Or what does peace mean to me? Or if I'm met with a burden, how would I go over it? How would I go around it? Or how would I walk through it? And so continuing to prepare and anticipate allowed me to meet conflict after conflict after conflict by simply leaning in, reshaping my thinking around it, maybe asking a question and learning something that I didn't know about it, and that encouraging me to make an emotionally intelligent decision on how to handle it. Whether that means know where something's not for me. Sometimes we find the conflict that we're looking for because we pushing the envelope on something that ain't for us.
Right.
But that's a tenet of leadership, learning what's not for you and being cool with that. But then also, we all know there's haters and snakes all around. And so, like Rick Ross say, I watch the snakes before they creep up. You see, that same woman I'm talking about, she still calls around the country, and says, don't give Chevis an opportunity. Don't give Chevis no job. He's a murderer. This and this and that. I don't even let it vex me anymore, because guess what? The volume of the hate is the fuel for me to keep pushing. And again, if I can push forward through it, then I very well could walk over it or walk around it. Again, if it's conflict, if it's a barrier. And then there's the natural barriers coming out of prison, coming out of jail, of being unable to find work or resources. Brothers, sisters, family members with your loved ones, I encourage you to consider creating your own. You all have great inspirational entrepreneurs in the state of Georgia. Why not choose entrepreneurism when you come back home from prison? Why not choose a trade where you can attain accreditation and then build yourself an LLC or an S Corp of sort and get to work? See, you've got to take those lemons and make lemonade. I probably got 4 or 5 gallons of lemonade now. Because like I say, all I do is anticipate the conflict. I'm not afraid of it.
Hold on that thought right there.
I'm not afraid
of it. We're going to take a minute to drink some of that lemonade so we can go ahead and pay a bill or two, and then we'll be right back. Let's pay some bills.
Hello, Miko.
Good. I'm glad to be back. Listen, Wade has joined us. What's up, Wade Valero? Good morning. Well, good evening to you. And we were just talking with Brother Watson, how he said he got about 4 gallons of lemonade because he know how to turn that bad into good. And I'm sorry I had to stop you for just that moment, but go right ahead and continue to encourage those that are listening. And immediately after you, we want Brother Tim and his wife to also tell us how they encourage themselves and how they make it through the difficult times.
To all of our listeners, to everybody from Savannah to Greenville, to DC, to Memphis, back to Jackson, back to Mobile, I want you to be encouraged. Yeah. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to understand that we as, I know it's not just Black people listening. And to Black people, we are so much more than Black. We are so much more than Black. I know that these times are critical. Property taxes are going up. Mass incarceration is continuing to excel and in progress. Poverty seems to be at an all-time high. Homelessness is right around the corner for so many single moms, so many brothers. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to stay encouraged because you're not alone. You're not alone. I want you to know that we're under a collective struggle right now for us to overcome slavery. And that's a huge barrier indeed. You could think that you're living good in America, and under that American philosophy, you're still a slave to America. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to stay encouraged.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because patience wins the race. I want you to stay encouraged because, like the brother and the sister said, we have kids watching us. And when kids see us handle a conflict responsibly, when the kids see us as brothers, not fight each other, but really dig deep in conversation and get over a misunderstanding, those kids go back and do the same thing.
That's right.
So we have to divest. We have to invest into our youth by the way that we treat each other. And for those of us in that southeast part of the country, how about we consider how we could change how we care about each other? If we care about each other differently and a little bit better, maybe we can handle each other a little bit differently, and we can overcome misunderstandings and conflicts and learn who we are together, learn the strength that we have together. Me and Fred do it all the time. We might have a misunderstanding, but instead of us calling each other NIGGA or destroying each other's spirit or soul or decreasing each other's value, we give each other an ear. We give each other an eye. And brothers, I've never been a woman. But I know brothers can overcome anything once you've forgiven yourself and you understand that you're not alone in that struggle. And so that's what I got, Brother Julius. I appreciate the space.
No, for sure. Tim, you and your wife share.
Well, first of all, when my husband got out of prison, we had to really reconnect and resubmit ourselves fully to God. That way we knew that from that day forward, everything we built will be built on that foundation. And nothing that no man could do or say would fear us. So we knew if we stick to what was right, no matter what we said or did, nothing would be able to stop our progress.
And just growing up and seeing how the world is, and especially down south, everybody know about Southeast, especially Southeast Georgia. And they have a good old boy system that has been affecting us for years. And it makes me sick and tired when our Black community leaders don't step up when they have a chance. And I'm not even going to speak about anybody. I'm going to speak about myself. I was involved in a case where I was 100% innocent, a community leader out here doing things for the youth, helping. And I was slammed by an officer, and I was falsely accused. I was injured, And my wife is on the outside writing letters to all of the leaders, to our elected officials, and was telling them, the police did this to my husband, he slammed them. They wrote us a letter back and said that your husband wasn't slammed, when there's a video clear as day of slamming him. See, they didn't got so blind with power, they feel like they can do that.
Exactly.
Like, they altered the paperwork, like, and continue to lie. So when you bring this to your black leaders and they don't attack, when the DA sending altered paperwork, when you see the district attorney them send, and when they don't ask questions, when they see paperwork altered, we have a broken system that must be investigated. And when they have so much control over us that we let them do anything, and it's up to us advocates and us black leaders and the elected leaders that we elect and we advocate for to get elected, is for them to attack, because then our kids go down the system with it. Because there's no way where we have the video, the paperwork, and everything in there, in the Liberty County Police, they get to retire with a pension. We don't get it retired with pension. We get background. We get humiliated.
Mm-hmm.
We must hold them to the same accountability, and they wonder why it's chaos. If we for peace, we have to be for peace. The police officers get transferred to another. They get transferred to another department.
Mm.
And with all that, how do people? Some people not give up. Like, that's why I continue to be passionate about the youth, because I know the system is broken. I knew that the DA and the public defender, they not supposed to be on the same side. That's their boss. They're not trying to give these guys lesser pleas. They're not trying to help the system. I started my political program because the jail's house is nasty. The prisons is nasty. And we need guys making reports. We need these same incarcerated guys that's incarcerated making more reports, so that we can go inside the system and show our community leaders, hey, this is happening in your county. This prison is in this county. We need to have the county be seeing how this is ran. We need to be going out there really attacking the system we want to change. Until then, it's going to be more stabbings in prison, especially after election time when everybody know it's set and they guy didn't win. It's going to be more corruption, and what we going to do? We cannot sit back. That's why we started our political organization, Power to People Action Committee, because we need action now. We already did all the crying and all that. It's time for action, peaceful action, legal paperwork, where we can show them. We can't fight them with this anymore. We have to fight them with that pen. They make plenty mistake on paperwork.
So, Tim, if you said we need to fight them with pen and paper, white and black, which I understand that. So what do you do when the high officials don't look like us, and they're the one that the paperwork has to go in front of?
And guess what? And they hate going on social media too. Mm-hmm. They hate being blasted, and they hate using. See, this is what we do. We catch them in that. See, when you want to catch somebody lying, catch them in their flex. Right. Oh, they love to say, oh, we spent this amount of money on this. We spent this on this. Hold them accountable. Hold them accountable while you in their face. In their face. And so you let their family know. You let their friends know. You let their affiliation know. When you affiliation with this man, you officiate somebody that is a crook. You affiliate with this man, you officiate somebody that is, whatever the situation may be. Like in my, like I told you before, for my situation, everybody from the DA to the old sheriff that was involved, that watched this tape and seen that this officer slammed me and injured me and damaged my background for a lie and put out the paperwork, like they should be fired. They should not be holding an office or a seat or to be able to do it again, because what they're going to do again when it's a smaller issue, they're going to push that. They're going to push 1,000 small issues, corrupted issues that would get one of us locked up. If I would have altered that paperwork and said that this, what would have happened to me? Can y'all explain to me what would have happened?
You would have been in jail.
So when they alter incident reports,
yes,
in Liberty County, Georgia,
mm-hmm.
they altering incident reports. When you can alter an incident report, they don't know that's from the beginning stage.
Right.
See, and we have to have systems in place that's going to attack that.
Right.
We go in low income areas. So many people got moles in their house. Why aren't the housing authority, anybody going in there and fixing that immediately?
Exactly.
They can't even tell you what the number is. The wait on the waiting list. It's so many issues that our local leaders sweep under the rug, and we tired of it. We need a motor inside of these systems. Too many of us sit up in low income area housing areas, and we only getting ready for prom. We only getting ready for homecoming. We only getting ready for this. Or if you're staying in low income area, we have to let them know that you're homeless. And your next step after that is finding a place to rent. And then after renting is home ownership. Like, we have to hold them accountable. The system have to hold us accountable, and we have to hold them accountable. It don't work just one way. And we have to be fighting just for equality for the whole system, because we can't tell these kids to do this when they see what we doing.
Exactly. It starts with
the kids are so smart these days. Back in the days, if you would have said I was a ooga booga, I would have took me till I go to my cousin's house in Savannah or Atlanta to find out what that was.
Right.
You call a kid a name today, he gonna know today what it was.
That's right.
Check this out. You know, we get ready to turn the corner because it's about time for us to ride. But here on this show, we've talked about tonight politics, policy, poverty, prison. You know, I'm talking about, listen, we got educated and encouraged tonight. But what I want you to do as we're getting ready to come to a close, I want to give my audience, I'm going to give my guests one final opportunity to give us, I don't know, sometimes, you know, we have a tendency of reading and we get something that stands out so much to us, but there's one thing that we try to highlight out of all that has been said. And that's what I want you to do. Each one of you, I want your wife as well to just highlight one word or one phrase, matter of fact, a phrase, one phrase that you will leave our audience with today. Watson, one phrase that you will leave our audience with. It could be a phrase of empowerment, a phrase of encouragement, or a phrase of education. Watson?
Much appreciated, Brother Julius. Alert, alert, alert. Savannah area. Working Group 512 is making that hard trip from Texas all the way to Georgia for the Arrest Eraser Expungement Clinic, sponsored and hosted by Nancy Devetter Law. We're trying to secure your future at our free clinic on Monday, November 13th at Deliverance Prayer Tower, 8011 Waters Avenue, from 5 to 7 p.m. Please come out. I don't have all the time to talk about the power of an expungement or the power of a pardon, but it could change your life. It could change your future. But most importantly, it could secure your future. And that's a power move. I appreciate it, Brother Julius.
That's a power move. What's up, Paul? Go ahead. I want you, Tim. Talk to me.
Okay, so we have just announced our low income at-risk youth initiative project that we're doing. We going to go out into low income areas all throughout the community, and we want to bring kids to events that's going on throughout Liberty County or other counties and cities to really open their experiences, broaden their imagination, and help them find a purpose. Because a lot of times kids are in situations where they may not have a role model to look up to even know what they want to become or what they want to be like. So we want to take them out of that and bring them into another environment to really open up their minds, to know what is out here, what opportunities they do have, and what is reachable for them, no matter what you look like, where you come from.
And I want to say, the one phrase that I always use a lot, and I always want people to know, is like, we can't forget about we the people. Like, the power of the government came from the people themselves. And I don't never want people to forget that the power comes from us. We have the power to take control of our community, of our area, and of what we want to become and who we want to be elected. And we have to stand on the righteous side of the people that want to invest in the youth.
Okay. Thank you to both our guests. Marie, go ahead and get ready to take it home for us. What you got to say before I close this out?
I want to say thank you, Timothy, Grace, and your beautiful wife, and Mr. Chevers. I look forward to meeting you on Monday, and I would like to say connecting the dots. Meek will always say connect the dots, and I would like to connect with Timothy Grace in Hinesville, and him and his wife, and Mr. Watson all the way in Texas. That is a good connection. It's good to have somebody connected where we can change policy. Policy, that's what needs to be changed. Policy, so that guess what, officers can't slam you and things get changed. Policies needs to be changed. Yes, let's connect, Paul. So
you see Paul in it?
Yes, Paul, and he said peace and blessings, brothers, always supporting the group of the community and people powerful today. So let's connect the dots. Julius,
what's up, bro? What's up? Listen,
and we thank y'all.
So we done paid some bills. Now we get ready to go home. But what I want to leave you with is something I always love to say. We may have started out wrong, but check us out today, y'all. We are finishing strong. We love you. We'll see you again next Friday. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Julius.
Julius.
Safe travels, y'all.
I like that.